Hi, this is Mark from Altcoin Buzz, and it's been a while since we've taken a look at the Bitcoin chart and done some technical analysis on it. So I thought we'd do that today because some things that are pretty exciting are starting to shape up on the chart, and I'm excited to share them with you. So let's get started. First of all, we're going to back way up. We don't normally start here. We normally start on the 1 day chart, but we're going to start on the 1 week chart. I think it's important because this is the establishment of our baseline right now, kind of our support level. And the second line that you see down here at that $3,800 level is, I think, where the doomsdayers have drawn their support at and where they're drawing that hypothesis on hitting the $3,000 mark. I don't think we're going to get there. I'm going to show you why here in just a second. Let's take a look at the 1 day chart. So what we've got here, and there's a lot of lines going on. I'm going to take some of them away, but I did want to just point out that we have in what most would consider a descending triangle. And whether you start that descending triangle here or whether you have it here, doesn't really matter, other than the fact that if you had it here, we broke out of it a little bit. And I say it doesn't matter because of the other action that's happening, and we're going to go through this channel that we're trading in right now. So I'm going to take those away. The reason that it's important is because on a descending triangle, theoretically, we would break to the downside on this bear trend. And all the other indicators point to the fact that that is what potentially is going to happen. So now at this point, you're probably saying, well, where is the good news then? If we're going to break through that triangle to the downside, we're already testing that low of $6,000. Well, there's a couple main methodologies out there. One you've probably heard of, the Elliott wave theory. One you may not have heard of, which is the Wyckoff method. And the Wyckoff method is more around price action. We're not counting waves necessarily. We're looking at price cycles. And I think, and if you saw my blog post from last weekend, I thought we might have hit into a spring area, which is the reversal point on a downtrend that Wyckoff looks at. It's the spring into the next wave. Right now, I think we haven't necessarily seen the spring, but I'm feeling very confident that we are in the distribution phase of what would come prior to a spring. So this is our support level right now, and I'm going to take this off because it's not really that applicable at this point in time. And we've got two, and I'm going to take this off. This is the doomsday line, and we're going to look at these 3 lines right now. So let's just focus in here. If we can get a breakout through this resistance level right here, I think that proves that we're going to start doing a new momentum wave. Mainly because we've got an inverse head and shoulders going on. This is on the 1 day chart, right? So this would be pretty strong and valid. We could even come in, and this would prove our spring in the Wyckoff method, come up, break through, retest that support level, and then spring up from there. And I think that's what we're seeing right now is a setup for that. We have low volume, which is one of the things that you look for as we're getting into this distribution pattern right here. We'd need a very strong bullish thrust or some good bullish volume to take us up and break through anyway, right? So once we get that, and we get that validated pattern. If we break down and break through this prior support level, that could simply be testing the liquidity of the sellers. So I'm okay if we test in this range at 57, 58 down to potentially 56 and still be encouraged that there could be that spring coming. So while a lot of things don't line up all that great on as far as the indicators go, the chart does. The chart looks pretty good from, at least from that standpoint, from the Wyckoff methodology. I mean, our short, our medium, and our long-term moving averages, our short are green, and our medium, orange and blue, moving averages are still above our slow moving average. And I've got those set up for, on the daily, I've got those set up for, just so you know, 730 days here. That's about 2 years. And the reason I've set it up that way is because I don't really think that anything past that kind of 2 year standpoint is relevant. Even then, it's factoring in a lot of the early adopters, but still it's plotted. I have it plotted on the chart. And then we've got our 365 day moving average, so 1 year. And then half of that on the blue line, and then a 1 month moving average, which has basically been what these patterns have looked like. You know, a 1 month worth of trading, another month of trading, another month of trading, another month of trading. You know, these waves have come in months. This is the longest wave, which I think also leads credence to the fact that we're in this distribution, because this has been a 2 month kind of wave down. So while the indicators aren't great, which means that we could test this level here again before springing back up. I think the other possibility of completing this heads and shoulders or retesting just a brief dip into this area one more time before coming back up for the spring is much more possible. So that'll do it for today's Bitcoin chart analysis. If anything changes dramatically, I'll do an update for you. But right now, we're going to leave it at that. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and also comment, because I do read all your comments and I will respond. Also visit us on altcoinbuzz.io, where you can get all of our social media links. You can check out our blog posts throughout the day and get hyperlinks to our podcast that our team does some great interviews on. Until next time, may all your trades be good ones.